boundless distribution of information. For example, for all of you, okay, that are sitting at home or in your office at the very moment listening to what I have to say about the topic we're talking about tonight, we're able to do this because of the World Wide Web. Okay, we're also able to do this because of the Internet. Okay, now some of you may heard of TutorABC from, let's say, commercials on the bus, okay, or from magazines. Some of you are, how would you say it, caught the attention of our commercial, or our commercial caught the attention of you, okay, through the media. Okay, now boundless or no boundaries are all meaning what? There are no restrictions, no limits, and no limitation. Now, the World Wide Web, or Triple W, has truly transformed our lives and how the world functions as a whole, meaning what? How the world functions as one. Okay, we won't say as whole. You would think it's very confusing, but the definition of as a whole, right here, it means as one. Okay? Now, on a personal level, it also helps us to meet other people in different parts of the world and make communications a whole lot easier and faster. Now, on an economic level, businesses are able to expose themselves on a greater scale or less cost. Okay, now transactions can be made from anywhere in the world. So let's say, for example, you are a user, okay, of China Trust. You would be able to access the money in your account if you were in, let's say, Italy or in Australia, as long as there is an ATM or there is, what, a bank. You would be able to do so thanks to the World Wide Web. Now, a country's stock market trading is also what? No longer limited to that country. Okay, so for example, recently there is that very shocking news of the Lehman Brothers, okay, going bankrupt. Now, normally if we don't have the internet, it is not very likely that the users or the consumers here in Taiwan would be affected by it. But because of the World Wide Web, we are able to purchase products from them through the internet. Okay? Now, what are some of the other ways the World Wide Web has affected us? Anyone? What are some of the, how would you say it? What are some of the other aspects that it has affected our lives? For example, I was mentioning how good inventions aren't always necessarily so good. Okay, so for example, the cell phone, it brings people closer, but at the very same time, it also what? Helps to increase the insecurity people have on each other. Okay, the discombobulation. Okay, the discombobulation, that is one thing. Okay, what are some other things? What are some other ways the World Wide Web has affected us? So, here's a question for you to think about. Okay, here's a question for you to think about. Would you be happier living 20 years ago? Or would you be happier now? Okay, that's a question that all of us, I'm sure, would be able to answer, because at least we're all over 20, 25 years old. Okay, so do you think the world has actually changed dramatically because of these new inventions, especially the World Wide Web? Yes, we are exposed to more information, but however, is the information true or not? Okay, what is the validity, okay, of the information that we are now exposed to? Okay, we won't know for sure. Now, Google. Somebody said Google. I think it was JC. Now, search engines, Google and Yahoo, made the information and other resources on the internet more obtainable. Okay, what? Easier to get, easier to obtain for the users. Now, the search engines allowed businesses to prosper. What is the definition of prosper? The definition of prosper. What does it mean? It means to grow. Okay, very well. Okay, it means to advance. It means to progress in a very positive way. Now, without major advertising efforts, users can find what they want from other user feedbacks. They also have affected the academia as plagiarism is made easier, but also easier to catch. Okay, so for example, if you have to write your thesis, okay, or if you have to write your term paper, you're lazy. You don't want to write about it. You can go online, copy and paste somebody else's work. But yet, at the very same time, if it is that easy for you to get the information, it is also very easy for your professors to see if you have, what, copied the information off somebody else's work. Now, to Google has been made a verb commonly used everywhere. So, for example, do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you eat? You can now say, do you Google? Okay, same thing. Now, the semantic web is the next step. Web search is based on the meaning instead of words. So instead of word search, we now have a meaning search, okay, which is actually quite, we would say, bizarre for a lot of people to congest right now. So let's say, for example, right now, if we have the semantic web, I would only have to, key in the word angry. And anything that is relating to anger or angry or makes you angry will now appear. Instead of the keyword, which is a very, very limited way of searching, you are able to access a web inside the web. Okay, the internet inside the internet. Okay, or the box inside the box. Okay, which makes it even more precise for you to be able to expose yourself to raw information. Okay,